Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing The Queen's Gambit, written by Walter Tevis. And I know this is a Netflix series and many people have watched the series. I've not seen it yet. I wanted to read the book first. So now I've read the book, I'll go and watch the series at some time. Not sure when. Most of my free time is spent reading, so watching series and watching movies is secondary in my free time. But anyway, this book, to make chess gripping and suspenseful, takes great skill, and this author manages to do that. The chess scenes are so gripping and so suspenseful, and it's all down to the character Beth, who's such a great character in this book. And the other characters in the book as well are so great. The characters in this book just feel so real, all of them do. That's a great skill, I think, for an author to have. So overall, I think this book is very enjoyable. I do recommend this book. Even if you've watched the TV series on Netflix, I recommend reading this book as well. If you don't know the plot already, Beth, the main character, is orphaned at a young age, maybe about 8 or 9. And she finds herself put into a group home for orphans. And in this group home, she learns two things. She becomes dependent on tranquilizers. She likes the way they calm her mind. So Beth's mind is very busy. She feels anxious a lot of the time, and her mind is always active, always running through things. So she learns that she becomes dependent on tranquilizers. She likes how they make her feel. The second thing she learns is she likes chess. She understands chess quite quickly just by watching somebody play it. And we see her develop her love for chess. We see the way her mind works. She can see the chessboard in her mind. She can see the pieces move. So they're the two main things she learns in this group home. The group home soon learn that she is quite skillful at chess. And so they arrange for her to have lessons in a way at the local high school. And that continues for a short time. And then the group home decides not to give the kids tranquilizers anymore. They weren't meant to in the first place. So they decide not to now, because if they're found out that they are giving kids tranquilizers, they could get in big trouble, fines, shut down, all that sort of thing. But Beth has developed a kind of habit on these tranquilizers, and she wants them still. She starts to fret, starts to worry, and she has a plan. She's going to break into the infirmary in the group home and steal a big jar of tranquilizers, or steal great handfuls of them. And she tries to do that, but she gets caught. So from that moment, she's cut off from chess as punishment. She spends a couple of years not playing chess until she's adopted. That's the first part of the plot. When she's adopted, her adoptive parents don't really know about her love of chess, and they don't seem to be great parents, honestly, at the very start. Beth develops her chess skills in her own time, secretly, without her mother knowing, without her adopted mother knowing, basically. Her adopted father goes off on business, but he doesn't return. So now the adoptive mother is a single parent, and she's not the greatest mother. Doesn't really know how to care for a child, it seems, in my opinion. Doesn't have a job either. But when she learns that Beth went to a chess tournament and won money, she starts doing some research and finds out there's chess tournaments elsewhere. So she encourages Beth to enroll in those tournaments, and she helps Beth, travels with her, and helps Beth go to those destinations so she can win more money. So that becomes their income. So in a way, the mother's showing that she's interested in Beth's skills at chess, but is it really interest, or is it selfish interest? I'm not sure at this stage with this character, Mrs. Wheatley, but she seems interested at times. She seems very caring at times for Beth. But as Beth's passion and skill in chess develops, we learn a few more things about her. We learn that she's got a lot of strength, a lot of determination, and that's just proven in the way she forges ahead to first enroll in these chess tournaments and then go on and win them and win more and more tournaments as she grows a bit older. We also learn that she's very competitive and she likes to win. She becomes addicted to winning. She likes offense more than defense in chess games, but she likes that feeling of winning. And when she loses, that spirals her out of this comfortable state she's in, and she starts to kind of break apart a little bit if she loses. We learn those few things about her. So her personality is quite strong, but so driven, and so driven towards winning anything else in her life throws her off center and makes her spiral a lot. Any small changes in her life also make her spiral, and big changes when they happen in the book. She spirals out of control at certain parts in this story as well. So she likes things to stay the same. Her mind is very strong, but she likes things to stay the same. She's very rigid in what she likes, where she's comfortable. And that's interesting in this story, that this girl who's so skillful at chess, and she's so comfortable in the chess world, the outside world is like a mystery to her. It's alien to her. She doesn't really know how to cope in the outside world. I don't really want to delve into the plot in any more detail because there's key moments in this story I don't want to give away, just in case you have not watched the TV series or read this book. But I'll say that the author was able to bring chess to life. And when I started reading this book, I was wondering, what is it going to be like? I mean, am I going to sit through scenes of people playing chess? Is it going to be just boring and drudgery? But it's not. And it's not because of Beth, the character. Of her point of view, her thoughts, her mind, and makes it interesting. We get to go into her mind while she's playing these chess games, and her thoughts are very quick, sometimes flipping all over the place. But they're focused not just on the game itself, but on the people she's playing. So that makes it interesting as well, because we get to see the people she's playing through her mind. We get to read their faces, their body language, and in some ways we get to understand their thoughts from Beth's experience in playing chess. So that makes the games suspenseful and gripping as well, because we get not only Beth's point of view and how she's feeling, but we get to read about how her opponents are feeling in these games. This book is so much a character-driven story. It's also driven by the chess games, but also by the characters, and the characters are so well written in this book. I mean, Mrs. Wheatley is very well written in the role she plays. There's another character called Benny that Beth meets later on at a chess tournament. He's well written as well, and he is quite an odd character in his own mind and development in this story. Also, the janitor at the school that teaches Beth to play chess in the first place is also well written. He's very pivotal in the story, being the person who introduces Beth to chess and kind of coaxes her skill a bit, helps her develop that skill in the first place. So without that character, this whole story wouldn't happen. And that character is a very strong character, especially at that first part of the story. But the chess games themselves, the chess board, the chess pieces, they're almost like characters in this story because they directly impact Beth and how she feels about life in general, herself, and other people. So it's interesting to see how different changes on a chessboard drive Beth's behaviour, about her feelings about herself, about the world in general, and whether she stays strong or spirals out of control. And it's all driven from these pieces on a chessboard. So in this book, the chessboard, those chess pieces, are another character in this story. I enjoyed this book a lot. There are one or two moments that felt a bit out of place, that shouldn't really be there, I thought, that do pull you out of the story a little bit. But other than that, this book is a great example of storytelling. This author is such a good storyteller. This author does characters so well, and to bring chess to life, to make it gripping and suspenseful, is a great skill. Beth, our main character, so well written. Her mind, her anxiety, the way her mind flips from thought to thought, and she just seems a direct contrast to the chess world. So she's sitting in tournaments and everything's so quiet and peaceful. There's no noise around. Things are moving slowly. The games move slowly, but in her mind is quick. Thoughts often jumble around and flip between being happy, angry, anxious, sad, all different thoughts very quickly in Beth's mind as she's playing chess. So it's a direct contrast to what she's seeing in her environment. So that's very well done in this book. Beth herself is a character that's very anxious. She spirals out of control a lot in this story. She takes a long time to find herself in the world. She doesn't know where she fits in the world. She fits in the chess world. She knows what the chess world's like and where she fits, but she doesn't know how to fit in the outside world. And we see that struggle in this book. So as a character, Beth's very complete. She's very interesting. She's very engaging, and she's quite gripping as a character as well. And you really do get behind Beth in this story. You want her to succeed at everything she does. Benny is a boy that Beth meets at a chess tournament, and then she meets him later on in the book as well. Benny is an interesting character. I don't think he's the best friend for Beth, basically, in the story. His emotions switch very quickly, and he seems very jealous of Beth's skills because Beth can beat Benny at one stage in the book, and then from then on all the time. Benny is quick to anger, and he lashes out at Beth at anger very quickly, and then very quickly changes and becomes nice again. That happens a few times in the story, or later on in the book. So even though Benny's an interesting character and he feels a bit complex, it doesn't feel like the best friend that Beth could have in the world. You know, if we're talking about this book as the real world, it doesn't seem the best person for Beth. But they seem to get on, because they seem both very focused on chess, and they seem like they're both people who struggle in the outside world, so they have that in common. Mrs. Wheatley is a woman who wanted to adopt a child, but seems not to know how to be a mother. You get that feeling in this story. And she has her own addictions. She's also addicted to tranquilizers, takes them quite a lot. And she seems to drink a bit as well in this story. So Mrs. Wheatley, maybe not the best role model for Beth, but as the book develops, Mrs. Wheatley starts to become a friend and mother to Beth, encourages her, lets her develop her skills in chess, helps her go to tournaments, all that sort of thing in this story. So we find out that Mrs. Wheatley really does care for Beth, and Beth does think of Mrs. Wheatley as her mother. That's interesting and well done in this story, and I like seeing that in this book. I enjoyed this book a lot. I didn't think a book about chess playing would be so gripping and suspenseful and engaging, but it really is, and it's down to the way those scenes are written. Those chess scenes, when seen through the character of Beth, it's written so well and becomes so engaging. That's all down to the characters, and also making the chessboard and the chess pieces themselves feel like characters in this story. I rate this a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this book so much, and now I want to go and watch the series. Not sure when I'll watch the series, but I do want to see it now because this book just encourages me to want to go and watch that almost straight away. On my channel, I review many books of all different genres. Check out my channel and subscribe. Also, there's a video right here on the screen of another book I'm sure you'll enjoy.